I don't know. Hey, you. You feel better? You were awfully unhappy not long ago. You look better. No reaction. Nothing. All right. The number one thing that they say in permaculture is where to start. Well, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to take a walk out your door and start. First place you can. Now, what you've been seeing me do is establishing a food forest in a far-off corner of my property. Now, this is primarily because we haven't built a house yet. I don't have permission to build the house yet, so I can't even start building the house yet. But I do want to get started. There are things we can get done. It'll take years for that food forest to be fully established. But that doesn't mean that I'm doing nothing at the house. So let me show you what we're doing here. Now, right here, this is right off the front porch. This is where the delicate stuff is. This is the stuff that needs attention all the time. I walk by this multiple times a day, every single day. Right here, I've got peat pots that have cantaloupe and moringa seeds in them. Next to that are the peat pellets with the tomatoes that we've got a couple of them coming up. Next to that are those peppers that got beat up by the rain. We're going to see what happens with them. Next to that is a Djibouti kava that I've been nursing for several months. Eventually we're going to plant that out in the food forest. We also have right here multiple chives. Now, I use chives when I cook all the time, and I like to have them. So we've got 4 of them here. These have to go in the ground in the back. We're going to plant those today. Right here on this little table, I've got the sweet potato slips. I put this sweet potato in some water, and as it sprouted, this one was brought down from the States from a friend of mine. The sweet potatoes there are very different than we get here, and I want to use these. So she brought them down for me. I'm getting them to grow. Once they reach a certain length, they go over here, and then they go from here to be planted. Right out back here, you can see these people actually have a pretty good start on what you would look at as permaculture. Let's take a look at the trees we've got here. This is a mango. Right next to that is, to be honest, I don't know. I know it's a fruit tree, I just don't know what type. Next to this, I'm pretty sure this is a coconut palm, but I'm not positive. Then here we have a papaya. Next to that is another mango. So these people have got multiple mangoes. We have some pigeon pea or gunga pea. Right there is a gunga pea, right there is a gunga pea. We have 2 gunga peas or pigeon pea depending on where you are. So that's what's on this half of the yard. Let's take a look at the other side of this mango. Here we've got a couple of bananas. And we have another pomegranate right here. Then in between, right over here, we have a papaya. Now, this is another thing. These are the areas that I started to plant. This pepper, I bought this pepper Saturday. I really should have planted it Sunday. Never did. Just couldn't do it. But we've got, here's a Scotch bonnet pepper there, and there's another Scotch bonnet pepper there. And we've got a tomato there. The tomato has got an issue. I'll take a look at that later. Then next to that, we've got this mango with a papaya underneath the mango. Next to this mango, I've got another Scotch bonnet pepper and another one. And then we have this big, beautiful pomegranate that is actually the neighbor's, but it hangs over here significantly. So we've got a lot of pomegranates coming over here. Then we have this little pomegranate here and another tomato. Here's one more thing I want to show you. This. If you look at this, here we have Lucina. Now, the Lucina cannot grow here. All right, we cannot allow this stuff to take hold here. Unfortunately, this is not the place for it. However, I'm going to get out some peat pots. We're going to dig these up and see if I can just transplant them into the peat pots so I can take them out to the property and get them to grow there. We've got several Lucina here, and I've got some peat pots right here ready to go. We're going to try and dig these up to salvage them, see if we can get them transplanted. We don't want them to grow here, but we do want them to grow. The goal is to get as much of the root system as possible so it doesn't completely shock the plant. I'm actually going to do more of these. They're working good. We've got a bunch of them. I'm going to get as many of these as I can. I've got at least enough peat pots to do another full tray of these. What you guys normally see is what I'm doing out on our property. That property's 10 acres. I'm starting in zone 3 and 4 out there because I'm waiting to get permission to build. As I get permission to build, things will change. As soon as we can start building, the focus will change to construction, not the food forest. But it'll be several months before that happens. So I'm really hoping we can get the timber trees planted and a good stretch of the food forest in and going before we start on the house. As soon as we start on the house, we're going to go and change focus into the construction. But what you see me doing on the property is all zone 3 and zone 4. It's not zone 1. This is zone 1. This is zone 2. Alright guys, that's it for the backyard. As you see, you don't need a lot of space. You just need to be able to do something. Get a few plants in. So it doesn't take a huge amount of property. If you look online, you can find people with suburban lots. There's Val and Eli in Florida. They have some. So they take small areas and do permaculture in suburban lots. This channel primarily is going to be focused on the big channel, the big property. But since we are here, I figure I'd show you what we can do small scale as well. Well, they're pretty girl. You know you start school next week. Are you ready to go back to school? Yes. Yeah. Good. It means you're not going to be watching Peppa Pig all day. No.